That's part of the homework. Yes.
Well, one major thing I came up with is how to deal with like when you're struggling in a game, because obviously in baseball everyone struggles, and sometimes, like let's say you're going 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts, it's hard to get out of your head. And I was wondering if you could help maybe on like strategies on how to try and get out of your head, because sometimes it's hard no matter how hard you try.
Well, um, the difference between guys who get paid and guys who want to get paid isn't always in the talent. It's really how they manage their at bats or manage the moments. It's how they bring a sense of self and a confidence to every situation. I'll even throw this word out, and I want you guys to tattoo this on your brain. The word is optimism. You have to be optimistic after every failure. Because if you're optimistic after every failure, every mistake, every out, every error, you know that you're going to be back, and you're going to bring a presence with you. You're going to bring an excitement as if you were on a hit streak, or as if you just made the game-winning catch. That enthusiasm becomes infectious. It becomes contagious. But the person that has to get that viral bug is you. And when you start owning it and you bring that viral bug of optimism, of positivity, of, hey, it's not a big deal. I'm going to get him on the next pitch. I'm going to get him in the next at bat. Or I'll pick this double play up. When you have that kind of professional mindset where you have short-term memory for mistakes, now you're putting yourself apart from all the other players. Because now you got a pro mindset. You're not sweating the small stuff. Because everyone who's played this game, everyone has struck out, has gotten hit by a pitch, has gotten tossed out at second, has made an error, has cost the game, maybe had a brain fart. So you got to learn how to put all these things in a proper perspective. That's how you learn how to honor the game and play it at a high level and just bring it every day. And that's important, because if you can't do that, the game's not going to reward you. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's important. And that's something you can do without a bat in your hand, or a glove in your hand, or a ball. That's something you can do just by sitting and imagining and visualizing, seeing yourself be a big leaguer, seeing yourself in these positions where I am dealing with, the game on the line, 2 out, bottom of the ninth. Every kid dreams of that moment. What's your routine like? How are you recovering from it? I just struck out and I'm getting a chance to come back in. How do I recover, and how quickly do I recover? What am I doing to try and get myself to have that confidence mindset? I keep going back to a gentleman who in my mind, it's just a matter of time before he makes it to the bigs. His mindset for being in the box and being a batter is what separated him. And he was not a big country wide shouldered boy that weighed, that was 6'6", 270 pounds. This boy was at best 5'7", 5'8", a buck 80 wet. And he just had such an amazing approach with every at bat. And he believed in himself. He committed, he bought in. Didn't matter what happened. Didn't matter about the outcome, but he always knew he was going to be competing with every swing and every pitch. And every time he would do his best to simplify his approach so that he would own the box. If you can learn that, the game becomes easier for you.
Thank you. That was some good advice.
Well, heck yeah, it was.
I have one more question, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So when you're like practicing and working out and stuff, sometimes you get so focused on trying to get to the immediate results that you forget about you have to go through the process to get to where you want to be. Do you have any tips for like trying to get rid of that tunnel vision?
So I'm going to give you a perfect example, and I was setting this up for to share with you, but you teed it off for me. You put it right there. I have a gentleman that I did a podcast interview, and I don't think I've released it yet. His name is Jack Little. He got picked up third round with the Dodgers, Stanford player. He's unfortunately in this little netherworld right now in the minor leagues where guys aren't getting paid. Minor leaguers have basically said, you know what, the season's probably going to be done. We don't know yet. But guess what? You still have a job to do. Your job is to stay in shape. Well, if you're not getting a chance to go to camp and hang out with your boys and work out, how do you do that? Well, if you're getting paid, you're expected to be a professional, right? How about for those of you who aren't getting paid? How about for all of you who are dealing with this idea that I don't know if I'm going to go to school right now? So we're going to probably be doing, having classes again online. And maybe some of these tournaments are going to be canceled because we can't go. Or I don't know if my high school team's going to get together because everything's been pushed back to December. So you got all this uncertainty that's going on right now, and everybody's having to deal with it. So now the question becomes, who really wants it? Because now the playing field has been leveled. Everyone is dealing with COVID. There's no exception. Everybody in this room and everyone who plays the game and every sport is having to deal with the adversity called COVID. So you can look at it as, okay, everyone's dealing with this. Woe is me, poor us. Or, you know what? My name's Dominic. I want this so badly that I'm going to find a way. I'm going to call up a buddy of mine and we're going to play catch. I'm going to call a buddy of mine or maybe a couple guys and we're going to go to this baseball field. It's not being used and we're going to go work out and we're going to rotate and we're going to work on our craft. Those are the things that you need to do regardless if we have a COVID issue or if we don't, to help yourself stay sharp. Brings me back to Jack Little. Here's a guy who I worked with the last 2 years, watched him when he was growing and going through his growing pains at Stanford, gets drafted, watched his last game pitching against the team I was working with, Mississippi State. They lost to them in I think, the Super Regionals. And so gets picked, dreams come true, then all of a sudden, boom, everything comes to a halt. And again, everyone's wondering, what do we do? Jack has continued his workouts. Jack decided not to go home, but to stay in Arizona and then to come to LA and work out with other members of the Dodgers organization. And then when they said, all right, no, we need to put a brakes on it, he continued to do things on his own. Every fifth day, he has been working out and giving himself a simulation where he looks at who the Dodgers are playing or would be playing, identifies who the players are, the batters, the opponents, looks at the lineup, and he goes through a physical workout with a towel, and he pitches a complete game or at least 6 to 7 innings. I'm going to repeat that again. He's not on an actual field. He's either doing this in his hotel or he's doing it out in a field someplace where he can just be alone, or he'll do it with somebody and he'll play catch. And he is simulating an actual game being pitched. No one's told him to do that. Those are his own expectations because he wants to get there. So here's an example of somebody who has not used COVID as an excuse. He has said, if this is going to be an excuse for everybody else, it's just going to make my journey that much easier. So as much as I love being a cheerleader, as much as I love inspiring people, as much as I love giving people stories, because I get people ask me this all the time, Coach, how do I make my dream come true? How do I make this happen? It's so damn simple, men. It is so simple. We just confuse it because our emotions get in the way. Or we want it so badly that we trip on our own 2 feet, thinking I need for all of this to happen, and it has to happen now. There is no There is no direct route to success. It's not a straight line. There is no rule, there's no book, there's no Bible of baseball that says if you do this and then followed by this and then followed by this and then followed by this, that your dream will come true. Because somewhere along the line, somewhere along that journey, you may get an injury. You may end up having to work a day job to help the family out because they just lost their job. You may end up having a transfer come in, and that transfer is going to be a better talented player and just beat you out. And now you got to deal with a different type of adversity. So there's always stuff that's going to happen. The question that every coach will look to see how you answer and respond to is how you're going to deal with that moment. That's your character. That's your confidence. That's your grit. That's your desire. That's your relentlessness. That's your pursuit of what you want in spite of what's happening to you. Because when you get paid $10 million, $20 million, or you get a Mookie contract, do you think that people are going to give a shit about what problems he has going on at home? No. No. So don't think just because you're making a lot of money, you're making bank, that all of a sudden your problems go away. They don't. You still need to be a professional. You still need to be responsible. You still need to show up. You need to still hold yourself up to the expectations that hopefully you set for yourself, which should be in line, if not higher, than what the people around you set up for you. Does that make sense? Guys?
Yeah, it does.
If you just let yourself marinate in those things, your life will change. And it will change for the better.
Yes, sir.
Promise. All right. So I put this post up on my social media. Let me see if I can do a share screen here and pull it up. Joe, I think I need for you to give me access to share my screen. Actually, you know what? Here. Don't need to. Don't sweat it. I'll pull it up on my phone.
You sure?
Yep. Where are we at? Here we go. So, George, I want you to read that to the group. Unmute yourself.
Can't see anything.
You can't read that?
No, wait.
Can you see it?
What am I reading?
There you go.
You got to lift it up a little bit.
Okay.
After every mountain is another mountain waiting for you to climb. Do you know why, and have you charactered your course to help get over those mountains? Goal setting.
Okay. So I'm going to read it again. After every mountain is another mountain to climb, waiting for you to climb. Do you know your why, which is your reason for being motivated to go climb that mountain? And have you chartered your course to help you get over those life mountains? Now, that life mountains is just an example of adversity, things we're going to be dealing with. You know, we have a GPS in a car. GPS allows us to take directions and where we want to go. So you plot points in, it tells you the fastest route, the least congested route. Sometimes if you get lost, it'll recalculate and tell you, to take a different way getting there. Life is no different. Goal setting is creating a GPS and plotting out a map for where you want to go, what you want to do, and how to get there. So if all of you want to either play in high school or you want to play in college, you need to have a map, a game plan of how to make that happen. What do you need to do this year to help get closer to the end result? Okay. Somebody had talked about process. These little steps along the way, these little pit stops along the way of this journey, those are process points. So if you have not done this yet, that's my homework for you for today. I want you to write down your vision, your dream. And then I want you to go back. And if the dream is, I want to play in the pros, I want to play for the Dodgers, I want to play whoever. Okay. Then I need for you to work backwards. Because chances are that's not going to happen until you're probably like 22, 24. And even then, there may be some little subcategories because you may have to play a little minor league ball before you get called up. So work backwards from 24 all the way back to your junior year in college. What college do you want to go to? Then work back and say, all right, what high school team or maybe travel team do I want to play for? I want to play for the elite program here at CBA. And then I want to work back. What do I need to do to make that happen? What do I need to do every year to get closer to make that happen? Jaden Noriega, how old are you, young man?
11.
You're 11. So your plan is going to be a little longer than somebody like George's or Braden's or even Jacob's, right? Because they look like they're older. But you still create the same template. And then you change it along the way. Because remember what I said, sometimes in your GPS, once you get on the road, you start driving, maybe you run out of gas. Maybe you get an injury. Maybe something happens, you got to pull over, and all of a sudden you got to take a different route. It doesn't mean that you won't get to your final destination, but what it means is you got to learn how to be flexible and to adapt and adjust as you're moving to that final destination. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See? Good. All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
what's your homework? What do I want you to do, Jaden?
Start from junior year in college and retract back to what travel ball team I want to play for and high school team.
Good. And then ask yourself, how good do I need to be? What do I need to work on to make that possible? Do I need to work on my hitting? Do I need to work on my fielding? And then I want all of you guys to share this with your coaches. That way they can give some input and they can make this thing become a living, breathing document. I want you to do this every year. If you do this every year, and if you're honest about it, and you have good people giving you input, I promise you, you will come closer to reaching your goals than most people ever will dream of doing. Bueno?
Yes, sir.
Bueno? Okay. All right, good. Joe, I was going to be honest and I was going to hold myself accountable. So I was not going to go past 30 minutes. We're at 21. How's that?
Perfect.
Do you want to add anything? You want do you want to incorporate anything to that?
No, I think if we can just keep it pretty simple for guys every week, so they know everybody can carve out 30 minutes to get on here, and I think just getting them to show up and be consistent with that, the first step, and it doesn't have to be a long drawn out conversation, which sometimes we kind of go into a few things instead of just one, and then it can be maybe a little bit mind blowing for them, which is good, but I like that we, the guys that have been consistent with this, they really look forward to these things, to these workshops, and so we've asked guys to continue to have their reach out to their teammates, to bring their teammates on here and remind them and hold them accountable. I mean, we've sent out emails, texts, you name it, just to remind guys to pre-register for these. It's not like it costs anything else for the guys that are in our program. So take advantage,
Amen.
During the times like these where, we have limited resources like we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 months. This is a gold mine.
Well, I love the fact we 40 participants. This is more than we've had. So
Yeah.
so we did something in between the last talk and this one. So I'm glad we got some more people tuning in. And, for those of you who are just tuning in now, check in with somebody who's been consistent in these chats. Ask them about what we talked about. Ask them about visualization. Have them teach you and walk you through what it is that we worked on so that you can learn how to adapt and sharpen that tool and be able to use it. Because this is always building on another step and another step. This is not about mastery, but it's about introduction and learning how to become a better player and how to take advantage of this time. Whereas, like I said, others are making an excuse. Well, can't do that. because life doesn't stop. Life doesn't stop. I got a swimmer who's going to ASU who found out today all the swimmers are going to be redshirted this year. So he's like, wow, what does that mean to me? I said, you know what it means? It means you basically get a free year of getting your education down, of learning the system, of making the successful transition, going from high school to a college D1 athlete, and getting yourself to understand what it's going to take if what your goal is to represent the USA in the Olympics as a high level swimmer. So it's all about how you guys choose to view this situation. You're either a victim or you're going to take advantage of the opportunity. I'm going to say it again. You are either a victim or you're going to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. You choose. You choose. Life will not brag or make Disneyland stories about the people who whine and complain. People will not hire you or give you a spot if you're one of the whiners and complainers. They are looking for people who are hungry, regardless of their circumstances. And that's why we're here.
All right.
Anybody got questions for me?
Yeah, guys, if you guys have a question, feel free. Right now is the time. We do this once a week, but wait, all right? You can put it in the chat, in the little chat bar at the bottom, or you could speak up if you'd like. Now's the time to get some pretty invaluable information. Nobody? Okay. I will say, like these things are every week, like we said, if you're not getting emails or text messages on this to remind you, just go to the website. You can go to the practice page on the website and you'll find it. Right now it's in the SoCal practice page, but we'll go ahead and just create another tab just for the workshops that we host online. Try to be as consistent with these as possible. If you can't get to it, that's okay. I get it. Life gets in the way sometimes, but they're being recorded and they're being put on our website and archived right there on the homepage, so it's easy to find, so you can get to what you missed. Please go and tell your teammates about this so that we can continue to get better and improve. Development isn't just limited to being physical on the field. Okay. We got to get our minds right. We got to be much better there.
Well said. And please make sure you do your homework. It isn't so much that you're doing this for your coaches. It's more for you. It's more for you, because if you fast forward 10 years from now, let's say baseball is just a hobby and you're working for some company, you'll want to create a plan for success. So we're basically teaching you how to do that. So don't take this exercise for granted. It has profound implications for you to become successful. I think we had a question here, Joe. When visualizing, how do you focus on the positive, not the negative? Cannon, that was you. I'm going to ask you, how do you focus on, let's say if you just struck out, and you're a pretty good hitter, right? And you go and you step into the plate. Should you focus on the striking out, or should you focus on one pitch at a time?
One pitch at a time.
How do you do that?
You flush it.
Okay. So when visualizing, how do you focus on the positive, not the negative?
You don't think about the negative things that you're doing. You think about the positive.
You focus on just the positive. You focus on you owning the plate, on you getting it hit, and all the things that you should be focusing on doing, holding your hand right, seeing the ball early, picking it up, having a good first step. All those little things that are part of the mechanics of swinging the bat and hitting the ball, that's what you put your mind on. And then you see it over and over again. Good question. Can you emphasize one more time on the last phrase you said? That's what we look for at the collegiate level. Love it. That's from Coach. So, gentlemen, no matter what uniform you put on, unless it's the uniform of being a CEO, you're always going to have people looking at you and judging you and watching you, judging you and your performance. So you could either be worried about what they're thinking, which means you're going to lose some of your mojo, or you're just going to go focus on your job and go do it and do it to the best of your ability. If you do that, you become coachable, you get lost in the moment, you honor the process, and you become employable, especially in a time a lot of people losing their jobs. Your job is to find value and create value. Be a hungry player, and don't let anybody work harder than you. All right. Anything else? Jacob Pagan, last one. The best thing to help the mental part of the game. You got to believe. I'm going to say it real clearly. If you don't believe in yourself, then it's going to be hard for somebody else to believe that you should go in as a DH, or you should go in and be our reliever to close this game out. Now, if you don't believe in yourself, then maybe what you need to do is you need to put more reps in and get more practice in so you can believe in your talent. Because you've already got pretty good coaches. You're surrounding yourself with pretty good people, pretty good players, good teammates. Now you need to go out there and just work on getting better. And you, Cannon, how old are you? 11?
12.
12. So I'm not expecting a 12-year-old to peak at 12. I'm hoping that you've got a lot of baseball to learn. And that's true of everybody. Jonathan, Derek, even Coach Andrew. We all got things that we can learn, and we all should be looking to grow. So I don't want you peak into this time. So I want you making mistakes, but I want you learning from them. And if you can have that approach with confidence and energy, then you're going to learn how to honor this game, and the game's going to reward you. That's how you learn how to clean out the cobwebs and keep this thing weaponized so you can monetize it. All right? All right, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure, guys.
All right, guys.
So-
Just
Thank you, Mario.
Homework. Do not forget homework.
yeah, and guys, especially the SoCal guys, just make sure you guys get to what you can when we do get to the into the cages or on the field. When you get those invitations, just try your best to get to these things, okay? Because it's not every day we're able to get the physical side in as well. But you got to take advantage. All right, got to take advantage when we have the opportunity. All right. All right, Mario. Appreciate you again, man. We'll see you
You're
guys
welcome.
next Monday, same time.
Yes, sir.
Mario, what's
Yes.
the homework again?
Who said that?
Jacob, I got on a little late.
Okay, so Jacob, I'm going to have you ask one of your teammates. How's that?
Boom.
That's fine.
Make
All
sure
right.
you pick up. Make sure, guys, you pick up your teammates back. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
Mario.
We'll see you all next week.
Adios.
See
See you later, Coach Andrew or Coach Joe.
you, buddy.